Hi, Stephen. Welcome to the talk show. How are you today?
I'm good. Glad to be here.
Amazing. I figured we can just start with a little introduction for everybody who's watching today. Who are you? What are some fun things you like to do? Any fun facts?
My name's Steven. I live outside Philadelphia. I'm a huge NASCAR fan.
Yeah.
So the season started a few weeks ago. So I'm super excited about that. They're phrasing it the best season ever. So very
Oh,
excited. Very much looking forward to that. Hopefully, get back to the racetrack this year. Could not go last year. Um, but yeah, just super excited. Winter is becoming spring.
oh yeah. I'm very excited for springtime. And so amazing. What got you into like NASCAR?
I grew up watching it through my father and became more of a diehard fan than he is.
Amazing. I love that. Do you and your father get to like go watch like races and stuff together now or?
We've traveled most of the eastern seaboard, going to a bunch of races. Probably over the last 8 to 10 years, and last year was the first year that we watched every race on TV because
Well.
they didn't have any fans. Fans weren't allowed, so I was a little disappointed about that, but glad to get got to watch it on TV. So
Yeah.
it made up for it.
Amazing. I know it's been quite a crazy year that we're coming up on a year. I know it's been different for everyone. How have you been like dealing with everything?
Well, so fast forward, rewind about a year ago,
Mhm.
I, I was working, and, then the whole world stopped.
Yeah.
And it's like, I could not deal with that. I have anxiety, I have depression, and I could not deal with that. And it's like, you know, my dad was home, my mom was home, he was watching the news 24/7. Like, couldn't you put something else on? It's like driving me absolutely crazy. So I made the decision to get some anti-anxiety medication to help me cope with the world
Yeah.
changing. And that seemed to help. And then I've been on it for about a year and hopefully want to try to get off of it. Um, but that was a big help. And then April of last year, my whole family gets COVID.
Oh wow.
And this was before everyone knew exactly what it was and what it did to the body. And my father had it the worst out of everyone.
Yeah.
Um, my symptoms weren't that bad, thankfully. But it took almost a whole summer for everyone to really recover from it, just from the fatigue that your body feels after symptoms are gone, after your 2 weeks of quarantine, is just the extreme fatigue.
Yeah.
And that was very, very debilitating.
Wow. Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing those pieces of your life and reality with us today. How coming out on like the other side now, how do you feel like those moments, even though I'm sure were really tough and hard, like what do you feel you've like taken away from it now?
I've learned to appreciate the little things that you have in life, because even though we're all suffering, there are people suffering that are far worse off. Um, but me personally, I'm just ready for the world to go back to normal.
I think we all are. Yeah, I absolutely think we are all ready for that. I definitely feel this time has made all of us slow down in some way and learn some new things in some way. And I'm like grateful for that. But I'm definitely, yeah, ready for the world to open up back again. I feel like it brings me really to my like next question where like we're all living this real life like human experience, right? And the human experience is different for everyone. So I would love to know, like in your own words, with where you're at on your journey of life right now, what does being human mean to you?
Uh, well, being human is we're all not perfect. I thought before this pandemic that everyone was perfect besides me. And There was something about me that people just didn't like. I didn't have much of a social life. I didn't have many friends. Uh, but since the pandemic started, uh, all that changed. Like, I now have friends I talk with on a regular basis, and albeit we all communicate through FaceTime and text messaging, it's still better than nothing.
Yeah.
So, like a year ago, I wouldn't even be speaking to you doing this. I mean, this is like, bold right here.
Oh my goodness. I love that. You should be so proud of yourself, and that just like makes me so happy to hear like from a really rough time in so many different ways. It sounds like it's really ushered you into this new way of being, which is exciting. How are you like integrating that, and how does that feel? Like tell me more about how all of this transpired for you.
It feels really good. Um, I do go through bouts of loneliness and feeling that, you just want to socialize with people, but everyone's going through it. We're all going through it together. So I try to find different ways and new opportunities to reach out and talk to people.
Yeah.
And that's like what led me to this today is just another opportunity to talk to someone.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
So that's what I've just been trying to do to keep positive and keep the conversation going.
Yeah, I love that. That's huge. And I know that you mentioned that you've had to move through like anxiety and depression and things like that. What has your like deepest healing from some of those moments been?
So I'm going to take you back in time,
Okay.
back to 2015, July 2015. I was 24 years old. I had just graduated from Temple University that December prior,
Okay.
and I got diagnosed with what was formerly known as Aspergers
Okay.
when I was 24. So for adults that's very high functioning on the autism spectrum like me, there really isn't any sort of resources or supports that you could get. You were just not eligible for everything that was out there. So I had to do a lot of soul searching and
Yeah.
try to get a lot of that support on my own. And I think this pandemic has really helped me speed that process up.
Amazing.
And the medication that I got has helped too. Uh, because, like I said, a year ago, we wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, which is just like a huge testament to the inner work you've been doing, I'm sure, and that soul searching has served you, I'm sure. What was it like for you to go through that whole experience? Like if you knew that you could speak to someone who maybe is going through something that you've gone through, there's something similar, what would you want to tell them?
Don't give up.
Beautiful.
There are people out there that can help you. Like, I started seeing a therapist back in 2016, about a year after I was diagnosed. And I'm now on my fourth therapist who I absolutely love and have no plans of seeing a fifth.
Yeah.
So there are people out there that can help you. You just have to find them. So, just don't give up. Like, keep searching, keep doing that research.
Yeah.
It's out there.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing. And I think that's going to resonate with so many. What is something that you feel like you're really proud of yourself for in this journey so far?
To see how far I came, like how I'm able to overcome that adversity that, life throws at you. And we were all thrown a huge curveball last year.
Yeah.
And just to see how I was able to cope with everything and live life as quasi normal as possible, uh, is just a testament to how us as humans are able to adapt to change, even when that change is thrown on our laps.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think like change is one of those things I have like a love hate relationship with, where it's like, oh, I love the change. I'm like, oh no, but then that puts me in my uncomfortable like zone kind of. And I think like a part of that human experience is change is inevitable. So with that, like how do you view, either from like your own experiences or what you've been witnessing in the world, how do you think like change um, allows a person to kind of fall into maybe more of their path in life?
Well, change can be a good thing. You
Yeah.
know, I'm always in support of people who want to make positive changes in their lives. Like, um, I got laid off, so did a million other people.
Yeah.
And when my unemployment and government stimulus started to come through last over the summer, I decided to take that money and reinvest it in myself. And
Beautiful.
I went back to school to get a certificate in social media marketing at my local community college.
Amazing.
So now I'm doing an internship in the field, and I am starting to look for entry level positions to do when my internship is up in May. So, um, like I said, a year ago, 2 years ago, did not have the means to do it.
Yeah.
Wanted to do it, but couldn't do it because I didn't have the financial to do it.
Yeah.
So, this period of dark times actually worked out better for me to be able to go back to school and learn about something that I had been interested in for the longest time.
Yeah. That's awesome and really exciting. Which brings
Uh,
me to my, oh, go ahead if you have something else to
yeah, it is really
say.
exciting. It's like where I'm so curious to see where this life takes me now. Whereas a year ago, I felt, or 2 years ago, I felt like I was just in that same, stuck in that same rut and that same routine and needed a change. And the pandemic, thanks to the pandemic, was a change that it needed.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that like really speaks to sometimes we face what I call like dark nights of the soul, where it just feels like everything's falling apart. But that light at the end of the tunnel is you just like kind of trudging through the muck a little bit and trusting that like something will come out on the other side. And I think you're like the perfect example of that. And I think that's so beautiful. Which really brings me to like my next question, because it sounds like you're really stepping into something that you're passionate about and you've really wanted to maybe do for a long time, but the world sort of like knocked you over and then was like, oh, okay. And then now you're like coming back from that. How do you view, like knowing your own journey and whatnot, how do you view like life, like success and career and purpose and stuff like that?
So we all want that American dream, right? The house, the white picket fence, the green grass, the significant, your relationship, your 2 to 3 kids and the family. We all want that American dream. But I think that American dream's different for everyone.
Yeah.
And it's like my dream, I didn't have a dream 2 years ago.
Hmm.
I kind of have that dream now. That dream is a little bit more attainable because going back to school gives me the skills that I need to break into this space that I wanted to break into and never knew how to do it. But
Yeah.
now I have the means to do it. I just have to find that one opportunity that feels right at the right time.
Yeah. I love that. And you speak to that feeling inside. How would you walk someone through listening to that like inner feeling when they're going on their path?
Always trust your gut,
Mm.
and usually when you second guess your gut feeling, you're making the wrong decision.
I've learned that the hard way.
So have I.
Yeah. How does your gut feeling show up for you? Because I feel like a lot of people who may be watching are like, "What? I like kind of get it, but yeah, I'd love to hear."
So it's hard to describe, but usually that gut feeling is like when you know something, you just kind of know it,
Yeah.
and it's like it feels like an instinct or your second nature. It just feels right, and that's just it's a feeling that I get, and I know when I make the right decision.
Yeah. I totally get what you mean. I've definitely gone against that deep inner knowing and like listened to the knowing that's like in my brain, who's like, oh no, this brain is right, not that like gut feeling. And it's definitely gotten me into situations where I'm like, oh, now I know why. I should have listened to myself. I love that. What if you could like thinking of your story and like going after maybe a new dream? What piece of advice would you give someone who is maybe on a similar journey who, like you, maybe didn't really have a dream, but all of a sudden's like, oh, maybe something is possible for me? What would you tell that person now for where you're at?
I would say really take this time to do some self discovery to figure out what it is you want to do in life, because the world has changed, and you know we are now more, because of this pandemic, we are now more connected than we ever have been. It's like I have been on so many Zoom calls with people across the country. I can't, I can't tell you how many. It's this technology has always been there,
Yeah.
but because of this pandemic, it has been the lifeblood of America and the whole world. And so to tell people, just really takes the time to explore, get on social media, get in Facebook groups, start networking with people on LinkedIn, and just really just see where things could go.
Yeah. I love
Like
that.
you just have to do it. It's like stop thinking about it, stop procrastinating, stop wasting time.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Amazing. What do you feel was like your kind of tipping point that helped you really like just go for it?
When I saw the initial payment of unemployment money and my jaw dropped.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It was a significant sum that I've never seen in my bank account before.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like, what do I do with this? So my mom's like, I think you should invest in yourself and invest in your future. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And when I got it like June, July. I only had like a couple of weeks to make a decision, and I couldn't really think twice about it. I filled out the college application, met with admissions, and started classes about a month later. So,
Amazing.
but
Yeah. It
it,
just
it,
all
it
fell
what
into place.
it's all fell into place.
Oh, so good. And I love that you invested in yourself. And I know, like, a lot of the work that I do with my clients and just the work that I do in the world in general, like, people are afraid to invest in themselves because sometimes that investment can be a big one. And I think there's like money blocks or situations and things like that. What would you say to the person who's afraid to invest in themselves, like, now that you've gone through it yourself?
Um, Again, just if you believe in something, like if you want to be, let's say, in working in marketing like me, and you don't have the skills or the know-how,
Yeah,
there's only one way to get the skills. Got to learn it somewhere. You can
true.
teach yourself, or you can go back to school. One of the two.
Yeah.
I chose to go back to school. I paid out of pocket, and I'm getting most of that money back on my income taxes. So that investment, I will get a return on that investment,
Yeah.
which is huge.
Yeah. And I think sometimes, and that's really what it is. Like, what are you going to take away from the thing that you're investing in, right? It's huge.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. What would you say right now has played like the biggest role in you following like your purpose, whatever that is for you?
Good question. Don't know how to answer it.
That's okay.
um, my therapist
Okay.
and my friends I talk to, they help me out a lot, because I've always struggled with trying to figure out, well, what's my purpose in life? Like, I was always stuck in that same circle, that same rut, and
Yeah.
felt like I was on a boat and couldn't find a port to get off at, right? There was times I felt like I was going to jump off that boat and swim to shore because you have to create your own path.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's I try to stay grounded through the people that I really truly care about, and I take their advice, and that really is what helped me uh, on this past year and on this new journey that I'm embarking on.
Yeah. I love that. That's amazing. What helps you stay grounded? What are some things that helps you?
So I've always been into yoga. I do a lot of yoga, so that helps. I did a 30-day challenge past January. I took the month of February off because I was battling some pandemic fatigue,
Okay.
and comes in waves, and that was the worst. And I just started up again this month, so that has really helped. Has really kept my mind clear. And although I don't like practicing at home, it's better than not practicing at all.
Yeah. Yeah, so true. I love that. Oh, thank you so much for sharing all of that with us today. I have some like more rapid fire questions to get to know you a little bit better. So, what is a current favorite learning rabbit hole that you're going down right now?
Uh, Really diving into the social media stuff, to help with my internship. Really getting into the graphic design side of things, and utilizing those tools, and really honing my skills to improve and to get better at that type of stuff for Instagram and Facebook. So that's what I've been doing the past couple of weeks.
So exciting. So exciting. I'm excited to see what happens for you. And I know that everybody watching this talk shows definitely loves to learn as well. So, do you have any, like, one or two favorite mentors that you tend to go back to, or people that you maybe just now found?
I haven't really found any real thing that I really or person mentor that I really like. It's just stuff that I discovered on my own and taught myself, and which because I learned by doing, by being
Yeah.
hands on.
Yeah.
So I created a Canva account and just started experimenting with the tools, and the design aspects that is on that service, and became really good at it. So
Amazing.
that's one site and service that have saved me a ton of time in creating the content that I need
Yeah.
to.
Oh, I love Canva. Yeah. Is there anyone in the social media world that you enjoy either learning random stuff from or yoga teachers?
So yoga teacher, I'm doing yoga with Adrian on YouTube.
Cool.
So I have a few friends who also teach yoga, so I learn from them as well. So a lot of Facebook groups that I'm a part of that are very helpful too. So it's all about that self discovery, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing.
Oh, I love it. I think self-discovery is one of the most fun things that we can do. And do you have a current favorite mantra?
Live every day to the fullest.
I like that. Yes, that's a good one. Simple but profound. And then last but certainly not least, if there's just one single piece of advice that you would like to leave everybody with, what would that be?
You are enough, and there are people out there that are going through this same phase of life, and they're basically strangers you haven't met, friends you haven't met yet. I mean, it's reach out, talk to people. If you're struggling, if you're having a hard time, get on Facebook, get in those groups, talk to people about your story, get the help and support. um, the lights at the end of the tunnel. It's a very long tunnel, but the light's there.
Yeah. Yes.
uh, Vaccines are on the are here. It's counting down the days until I'm able to get mine. I mean, the world, this pandemic is almost over. You just have to tough it out a little bit longer.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. You are enough. I think that's something we all get to remind ourselves daily. I love that. Thank you so much for being so brave and coming out of your comfort zone and doing this with me today and sharing your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. Life starts when you're out of your comfort zone. That's when life starts. So
Yes.
the more things I can do to get out of my comfort zone, the better off I'm going to be.
Yeah, I'm celebrating that. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone who's watching. Where can people find you if they'd like to connect with you?
So Twitter and Instagram at Stephen Brown 88. My Facebook is linked on both. So if they want to reach out,
Just do
feel free. Yep, just do
it.
it.
Yeah, connect and definitely connect with Stephen. Thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
You as well.